It's the complimentary breakfast.
So I thought it would be a good idea, since the man sitting in front of me made his name as a copywriter, as a guy in advertising, I thought it would be a good idea if he advertises himself, advertises his own interview.
But not by shaking his head.
So we said to him, get into the studio, copyright an ad, and we're now going to play the ad for the interview we're about to do.
Nice.
All right, you ready for this?
Yeah, let's do this.
Here we go.
Author of To Quote Myself, and in my arrogant opinion, a struggling womanizer. Leader of the People's Army against typo Nazis, never eats black jelly babies, and a man chicks possibly dig, but completely unconfirmed. So stay tuned to listen to my interview. Yes, Khaya Dlanga.
Chicks are digging it, Khaya.
Yeah, man.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the show this morning, Khaya Dlanga is with us, and his last book of his became quite popular. It's called To Quote Myself. It's a memoir. And you also said at the beginning, you are too young to write a memoir. You should do this in your 80s, not now, sir.
Yes, I agree. Apparently, I've lived long enough.
Well, yeah, you've been through the mill.
Yeah.
Now, Khaya has established himself, and I'm reading from the back of the book, he has established himself as one of the most influential individuals in South African media, particularly social media, a platform that he uses to promote discussions on topics that range from the frivolous to the profound. And these days, you are Senior Communications Manager for Content Excellence at Coca-Cola. Is that it?
Yes.
That must come with a huge salary.
Well, I wish it did.
You know what the nice thing is about you, and if there's I wrote, I didn't write a book myself, but I read your book, and as I was going through this, I was surprised every time by the things that you went through and the things that you've done in your short life. How old are you?
Wow. Phew, 36.
36.
That is not short. I'm short. I don't know if the life is short.
Yes. This man was a stand-up comedian. He was homeless for a year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really?
And then he ended up in advertising. Comes from a little village, and I was trying to pronounce it, Duchini.
Yes.
Is where he comes from.
Yes.
So he used to herd animals and all sorts of stuff with
Yes.
sticks, fighting.
Now I had people.
Living in mud houses and things like that. Now you live in a palace, I hear.
It's huge. The queen would be envious.
Now here's the thing. I'm going to ask you this before we get to our full chat with you. You come from a very, very small village. And we need to understand, I need to put you in the picture if you're listening to this. This is old school stuff. This is sleeping in a room with a lot of people. It's sleeping on the floor. It's getting your own plate only later on in life. Going to a school where the teacher couldn't properly speak English and was uneducated themselves, to this post that you have today. And in the meantime, for a year, you were homeless in Cape Town. So obviously it's a huge jump. And you went back to Duchini at some point with your Merc. You went there and you said to yourself, if it wasn't for my mother, things would have been completely different.
Yeah.
The role that your mother played in your life, tell us.
Oh, geez, my mother, the role she played was quite incredible, because I think she wanted probably a better life than I imagined for myself. She took me out of the village that I was at and took me to what was a very good school in the Eastern Cape at the time, in the Transkei. It was called Little Flower Junior Secondary School. So I went to this school. It was run by these nuns. And I went to this school. It was a boarding school. And I really got quite a decent education from when I was about, I think, 9. I was turning 10. And that's when I actually went to the school. And by the way, they forced us to speak English. And they allowed you some grace for the first 3 months. And after that, if you speak Xhosa, they would give you they would take some masking tape and then put it over your mouth. And you wouldn't, yeah, absolutely. And if for 3 hours, and if your 3 hours fell between meal times, you're not going to have your meal. So that kind of forced you to learn to speak English pretty quickly.
Yes.
Sure.
It's the complimentary breakfast.